Hello and welcome back everybody to the channel Held Dominant. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you've seen and if you want to see more. Coming up in this episode, a quick catch up with the two games that were played on Friday in the NRL. Ryan Sutton has cruelly played his last game for Canberra Raiders. Plus a full cut review, results, scorers from the three games played on Saturday. So first of all, we look at Friday's games and a quick look in how the teams went on and what significance it bears on the results that they got from them. So three of the teams are looking to cement their place in the finals, while two of the teams are battling out in a three-way tie, more or less, for second place. North Queensland Cowboys face the New Zealand Warriors. The Cowboys are currently in second place and are looking to cement that, with one of the other teams chasing, Melbourne Storm, playing the Brisbane Broncos. Melbourne are on a good run of form recently, but Brisbane Broncos, despite a couple of dips recently, have had an impressive 2022 season, which finds them deep in the playoffs after struggling in 2021. It was North Queensland that came away with a win in the first game as they beat the New Zealand Warriors 48 points to 4. Cohen Hess, Murray Tuolagi had opened the scoring with Valentine Holmes converting one of the tries before there was a response from the New Zealand Warriors, with Marcelo Montoya scoring at the 33rd minute. But apart from that, the game was done by half-time, with Jeremiah Nane scoring on the 37th minute before Peter Hiku scored just before half-time. Valentine Holmes converted those two tries and only missed one all day, Murray Tuolagi's try in the 9th minute. The game was almost done and dusted at half-time thanks to Valentine Holmes' penalty on the 20th minute, as the Cowboys led 24 points to 4. But the Cowboys didn't take the foot off the gas. As soon as Tom Dearden scored on the 41st minute, Luciano Leilua backed that up on the 47th minute. It's been a good move so far for Leilua to the Cowboys. Tom Dearden had then scored a second on the 61st minute, exactly 20 minutes after his first one, and Chad Townsend completed the scoring on the 68th minute. The Cowboys continue their march towards the second place position, or the playoff picture for the better draw, while New Zealand Warriors have to think about what they can do to improve in 2023. The Melbourne Storm kept their hopes of a second place finish alive with a 60 points to 12 victory over the Brisbane Broncos in a result that no one really saw coming. They would have given the Storm a victory, possibly, but they wouldn't have thought that it was by this amount of points. After young Tuna Maipia scored on the 6th minute, it was an equaliser from Kurt Capewell, which thought this game was going to go either way early on, with both sides having a 6-all scoreline after 11 minutes. But after 20 minutes, it was only going to go one way, with Tui Kamikamacha scoring on the 20th minute. David Nufaluma scored his second try in 2 games on the 24th minute, before Cameron Munster got a try on the 38th minute, with the scoreline being 24 points to 6 at half-time, a reflection of the game that had gone just before. Unfortunately for the Broncos, even though they scored through Corey Oates on the 63rd minute, there was not much that they could do like the Warriors in the previous game. Harry Grant scored on the 42nd minute before Justin Olam got a double on the 54th and 59th minutes, respectively. Jerome Hughes is back, and him and Cameron Munster must be pulling the strings properly, as he went over on the 72nd minute. Nelson Asafa Solomona scored on the 75th minute before Nufaluma scored his second try on the 77th minute. Nick Meaney had a day with the boot, as on the 71st minute he scored a penalty, plus also converting 9 from 10 through the entire day. Adam Reynolds kicked 2 from 2 for the Broncos, but it wasn't enough to see them gets a glove on the Storm. They ran in 60. Ryan Sutton has played his last game for Canberra Raiders after suffering a hand injury. That is the viewpoint of Ricky Stewart, his coach at the Raiders. Sutton, 28, is reportedly heading to the Canterbury Bulldogs on a 3-year deal from 2023. But the former Wigan Warrior forward was a regular for the Raiders in 2021, making 22 appearances. He has played 16 times in this campaign, scoring his first try of the season against St George Illawarra Dragons in round 22. It's reported down under that he suffered a ligament injury in his hand, which will rule him out for the rest of the campaign. His head coach Ricky Stewart told the Canberra Times in an interview about the injury that it's disappointing for Sutton, probably playing his last game for the club, but he's a very valued member of the team still. He leaves on the note he's playing some of his best football. Sutton seems to be departing Canberra Raiders, having made 74 appearances across 4 seasons down under. He was left out of their opening game of the season after his move to the Bulldogs was speculated upon. This caused controversy when his partner took to Instagram in a response, prompting an apology from Sutton to Stewart. Although the deal to Canterbury is yet to be officially announced for Sutton's capture at the Bulldogs, it will mean that there will be one Englishman left at the Raiders, after Sutton was one of several English players recruited by the Raiders around 2019, only one of which will remain at the club for 2023, and that's in the form of Captain Elliot Whitehead. A couple of other of the Englishmen, one being Josh Hodgson, is heading out of the Raiders, primarily being sat out for most of the year. He is now going off to Parramatta Eels on a 2-year deal, while another player, Harry Rushton, is moving back to the Super League with Huddersfield Giants. Canterbury, however, are well out of the playoff contention and sit in the bottom 5 of the NRL. They have recruited back rower Viliami Kickout from Penrith and Parramatta hooker Reid Mahoney for 2023. Matt Duffy has already left the Bulldogs to hook up with Warrington, and Paul Vaughan will follow at the end of the year. Jack Hetherington, Jeremy Marshall-King and Brett Naden are also heading out of the exit door to Newcastle Knights, the Dolphins and West Tigers respectively, in what is going to be an overhaul for Phil Gould and their new incoming coach Andrew Webster. It's Cameron Ciraldo who is the new head coach at the Bulldogs. Will be looking to do for 2023 and beyond, especially with Ciraldo's 5-year deal coming into play. So we begin our Saturday roundup with the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs being involved in a game in Parramatta, as these two sides are looking for different types of fortune leading into the playoffs or next season in the Bulldogs' case. The Eels lost to fellow contenders South Sydney and dropped them to from 5th to 7th in the ladder, and are endangered of being passed by the Roosters unless they can rebound in round 23. Since their bye in round 13, the Eels have lost, won, lost, won, lost, won, lost. A rollercoaster ride which has seen them spoken about as Premiership contenders one week and inconsistent underachievers the next. That stretch of games started with a shock loss to the Bulldogs in round 14, and that's the opportunities they confront again this week in front of what is usually a raucous crowd at Combank Stadium. The Bulldogs looked jaded in Auckland on Friday, but they've had a chance to recharge their batteries and be buoyed by the news that Seraldo is their head coach in 2023. So a quick rundown of the team sees that the Eels have Marata Niokore starting the game, with Ryan Matterson going to the bench in a late switch. Halfback Mitchell Moses returns from a broken finger he suffered in round 20. Jake Arthurs moves to the 18th man position. For the Bulldogs, Tavita Pangai Jr. moves into the starting side an hour before kickoff, with Harrison Edwards moving to the bench. Luke Thompson is back for his first game since round 12 after battling concussion effects. Jackson Topeni and Chris Patolo are the two players which make way for the return of Pangai and Thompson. Unfortunately for the Bulldogs, the changes didn't seem to have the desired effect, as they were resoundingly beaten 42 points to 6. They had Will Pinasini and Waka Blake for 2 quick early tries before Aaron Shuck came back on the 28th minute with a try for the Bulldogs. A penalty had opened up the scoring from Matt Burton on the 5th minute of the Bulldogs, but it went all one way after Shuck's try. Maker Sivo scored just before half-time on the 34th minute before Ryan Matterson got over the try line coming off the bench. Tom Opacic scored on the 48th minute, those 2 tries coming just after half-time. Dylan Brown scored a double on the 61st and 65th minute before Waka Blake closed the scoring on the 78th minute. Mitchell Moses ended the day with 10 points to his name, 5 from 8 conversions, and a win for his team as well, 42 points to 6. Our next game sees third play 9th third play 10th, due to the Manly Seagulls dropping out of the playoffs and Cronulla Sharks playing some fantastic rugby league just in time for the playoff picture. With their finals dreams shattered at Gold Coast on Sunday, the Seagulls must find a way to regroup before confronting the high-flying Sharks at the Four Pines Park. Seemingly in good shape after round 18 with a win over Newcastle, the Sea Eagles have slumped to 4 losses in a row for the first time since the opening month of the 2021 season, and now sit 4 points outside the top 8. They face a confident and composing Sharks outfit who have a top 4th berth well and truly in their grasp, with games against Manly today, the Bulldogs and the Knights to come. Craig Fitzgibbon's men are playing a brand of footy well suited to high pressure playoff games, and they have every reason to believe that a second premiership in 7 years is a real possibility. But who are both coaches, Des Hasler and Fitzgibbon, named in their starting lineups? Well, the Sea Eagles have Jake Travojevic out with a hand injury, Ruben Garrick with a shoulder injury, and Andrew Davey dropping out earlier in the week. Tolu Kula is the new fullback, with Alfred Smalley coming in on the wing for his second NRL game, and Dylan Walker receives Travojevic's lock position. Ethan Burlmore joins the starting side, with Kurt De Lewis added to the bench. For the Sharks, rookie fullback Cade Dykes has been taken out at the 24-hour mark due to a calf injury on Friday, with Lachlan Miller shifting to fullback and Matic Ivalu joining the side on the wing. Interchange forward Teague Wilton is out and replaced on the bench by Braden Trindle. Connor Tracy, who was out with a head knock, and Matt Moylan with injuries with a quad injury, returned to the starting 17. With Toby Rudolph facing the month on the sideline with a torn medial. Braden Hamlin Ulehaven comes into the starting side, with Andrew Fafita joining the bench. Centre Siosifa Talake remains sidelined with a shoulder injury though. It's now 5 defeats on the spin for the Manly Seagulls as Cronulla Sharks strengthen their third place in the league position and battling for second with a 40 points to 6 victory. Nico Hines got the ball rolling for the Sharks on the 6th minute before Royce Hunt went over on the 15th minute. Matt Moylan got a try on the 28th minute before Matic Ivalu scored on the 38th. Nico Hines got his second try of the game on the 52nd minute as it was 22 points to nil at half time, and he extended it to 28 points to nil. Britton Nikora scored on the 55th minute before Matic Ivalu got his double on the 71st. Daly Cherry Evans went over on the 76th minute and also converted that try. Nico Hines converted 6 out of his 7 kicks to have him finish on 20 points for the night, and the Sharks go away with the victory. The Seagulls look disjointed and not a team, all since the Rainbow Affair. And our last part of the video sees the Sydney Roosters face the West Tigers. The Roosters' 5-game winning streak carries them into the top 8 and has them poised to play finals footy for a 6th year in a row. With James Tedesco in supreme form and their forwards doing a mighty job in the middle, the Roosters are looking every bit a serious title contender, but they still have some significant challenges ahead. Most expect them to roll over the top of the struggling Tigers on Saturday night, but the Storm and the Rabbitohs will offer far sterner tests in the 2 final games of the regular season. Having dropped to last on the back of their loss against Cronulla, the Tigers must dig deep against the Roosters, Dragons and the Raiders in their last 3 games if they are to avoid the joint venture's first wooden spoon. With that, who have the coaches named in their team? So for the Roosters, a late switch at centre sees Drew Hutchinson start over mid-season recruit Oliver Gildart, who reverts to the bench on his club debut. Paul Momorowski drops out on Friday. Big men Lindsay Collins and Siosua Takiyaho remain sidelines with a concussion and cheekbone injury respectively. For the West Tigers, Ken Muimalo returns from a knee injury, so Stafford Toa moves to the centres with James Roberts dropping out. Alex Seyfarth has been added to the bench and Tyrone Peachy goes to the reserves. Stefano Utikamanu has a wrist injury and Luke Brooks with a calf injury are not expected back until round 24 at the earliest. West Tigers are now looking more and more likely for the wooden spoon after a cricket score was put on them as they lost 72 points to 6 against the Roosters. This is going to be a long one. Nat Butcher scored on the 11th minute before Angus Crichton got a double on the 21st and 25th minute before Nat Butcher got a second on the 29th minute. James Tedesco scored on the 32nd minute to push the score out to 30 points to nil, with Sam Walker converting all 5 tries. Then the second half came on after 30 points to nil half-time scoreline. Connor Watson scored on the 43rd minute. Drew Hutchinson scored on the 47th minute before Nat Butcher completed a hat-trick on the 52nd minute. Daniel Tupou scored on the 55th minute and the 63rd minute respectively, before Butcher went over once again on the 75th minute. This after Brett Naden gave West Tigers a consolation, I won't say hope, consolation on the 72nd minute with Adam Dewey converting. But before full time, James Tarmo was sent off for foul and abusive language directed at the referee. Called him F-word incompetent, picked up by the microphones, and he had no choice but to go, which gave the West Tigers something more to do with a minute to go before Matt Lodge scored for the Roosters to finish the game off. Sam Walker completed the day with 12 conversions from his 12 attempts. Bad day at the office for the Tigers, but the Roosters coming on form strong. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way. Tell me what your thoughts are of today's video in the comment section below, as it's open for you guys to critique or even praise. I hope the praise one's the better one in the comment section, but please be respectful of each other's comments. And tell me what your thoughts are on the results. There's some massive results. The Storm and the Roosters hitting big figures against their opponents. And it looks like Wests are going to be the wooden spooners this year. Still have a couple of games, but it's more than likely. Who's the outside bet for the playoffs in after these results? You tell me. Roosters going to make it into the finals against the Storm? Or is it still Penrith's to lose? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. As you can tell, a couple of shirts have joined the collection. Now with the Great Britain shirt from 2018, I think it is. Yep. So, tell me what your thoughts. Which other shirt should I get next to add to the collection? I digress. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. I will now wish you all the best. So please stay safe. And I'll see you in the next episode.